Hello folks, this is Avidan. May God's peace, truth, grace, and love be with you all if you seek Him in faith alone, in Jesus Christ alone. There was a video that was put out by the Vigilant Christian. Should Christians take antidepressants and medicine for mental illness? Now, I'm not going to get into that debate. The reason why I'm posting this is for who he supported to make his argument for him. John Piper, who is this guy right here. A lot of people regard him as a very mainstream Christian or whatever, and he's not. He's very heretical, and this is the dangers of the Vigilant Christian. He points people towards total heretics, thinking that he's a safe person to go to. He went to Fuller Theological Seminary, which a lot of the alumni end up in the Emergent Church. You can look that up for yourself. That's like the Rick Warrens and stuff like that. And you also have the New Apostolic Reformation. If you go into Fuller Theological Seminary, you're going to find people like C. Peter Wagner, who is actually the creator of the New Apostolic Reformation. It's a very heretical cult that tries to say that there are apostles on the world. They name new apostles, new prophets, and they try and pretty much take away the authority of the Bible by their own new revelations, which are often very wrong, very heretical, and very dangerous to new believers. And it's spreading everywhere. And this is the kind of person that Mario is now pushing as well when he did a video on the fivefold ministry heresy, which is a theology that was started by C. Peter Wagner. So going back to John Piper here now, he also went to the University of Munich, and for those who have studied the Counter-Reformation and the Jesuit order, this place was like the center in Germany for the Counter-Reformation, which was the Catholic response to shut down the Reformation. Now, the Jesuits heavily influenced this church for about 300 years. Now, that stopped, I believe, in the 19th century. You can see Pope Benedict was a student and professor at the university, and they have both Protestant and Catholic theology there. Jesuits don't give up schools, okay? If they lose one, they take it right back. Let's get into John Piper's doctrine. First thing right off the bat, which is one of the most dangerous, is Calvinism. And for those who are Calvinists watching this channel, I am staunchly against Calvinism. I'm not an Arminian either, for those who are Calvinists and are now assuming that of me. But I want to teach those who don't understand this why Calvinism is very wrong. He affirms the distinctly Calvinist doctrine of double predestination, which includes unconditional reprobation or damnation. What this essentially means is, before you're even born, God chooses who is to be saved and who is to go to hell. You have absolutely no say in it whatsoever. Even if you wanted to be saved and you were one of the chosen to go to hell as a part of the unconditional damnation, you will go to hell regardless of what you believe. This is talking about you can't believe on Jesus if you want to. You have no free will to do so whatsoever. Whereas the Bible teaches us in John 3:16, for God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him, should not perish but have everlasting life. The Calvinists would tell you that for God so loved the world of the elect that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever of the elect believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. So when the Bible tells you that Jesus died for the world, that means to them of the elect. There are only certain people that God has chosen. And they also believe that you have no free will. God is completely sovereign, and everything that is done on this earth, be it a good deed or whatever you want to call it, or sin, God has made that decision, making God an author of sin. It's extremely heretical, and if you think that it's not a salvation issue to be a Calvinist, think again. Because those who are not saved going into Calvinism and are taught that, they don't know who God is. They don't know how merciful God is and loving to all. But this is what this guy teaches, and as you can see here, Mario has no problem supporting him. Regarding spiritual gifts, Piper is a continuationist that's opposed to a cessationist, believing that prophecy, miracles, and healings and speaking in tongues have not ceased and should be taught sought by the church, which, by the way, is frowned upon by Calvinists, by most Calvinist theologians. So not only is he a heretic by being a Calvinist, but he's a heretic by Calvinist standards. This prophecy, miracles, healings, it's very New Apostolic Reformation-like of him to get into. And he's buddied in with that. We won't get into it too deep, but I'll show you now in a moment. He also considers himself a post-tribulation preacher. This is really a plethora, and it's very, I don't know, it's not very common for people to hold these three different things, especially the Calvinism and the continuationism. It screams, along with where he went to school in both places, it screams of ecumenism. And if you're not aware of ecumenism, very important thing for you guys to look up. It is a Jesuit creation, or at least a Vatican one, that is trying to get all churches to come together as one. And that would create the new one world religion. He also holds himself to be a new Calvinist, which is, once again, buddied up very closely with the New Apostolic Reformation. If you look into the New Apostolic Reformation, they want to consider themselves apostles and prophets and lord themselves over the earth. Dominionism is, it's essentially the belief that before Jesus can come in the second coming, these guys, the dominionists, have to take over the 7 mountains of the world, which is like government, media, places of power, essentially, the 7 mountains of power. So they believe that they have the power to bring back Jesus. I've covered this in another video, and I'll have the video down in the links below. So, as you can see here, he is actually the head guy or whatever of Desiring God. And I'll just show you here. This logo, for those, Mario should know this, because he exposes the Illuminati and the occult all the time. He should know that this sign is very not Christian. It's very, very, very not Christian. In fact, it's occultic in nature. This is called the Star of Inanna. You might also know it as the Star of Ishtar. You'll probably better know Ishtar, which is, if you look in the Bible, Ashtaroth. It will be said in the Bible, this is her symbol. Okay? You can find it also here, one of the papal emblems. So when you take a look at that and you compare it back to this right here, you know where this is coming from. Okay? There's nobody, actually, I don't think there's anyone that screams Jesuit coadjutor like John Piper. And what Mario's doing right now is just giving him a front stage, right? For all those young babes in Christ that watch Mario's channel, because most of the people that watch Mario's channel, if they don't realize that there's something off with this guy, then a lot of the times it's people who are new in Christ. And they'll look at John Piper and they'll say, oh, well, TVC supports him. But really what TVC is sending them all over to is somebody who is extremely heretical and suspicious. Furthermore, if you guys are familiar with Jesus culture, who is from Bethel, Bethel Church, if I'm not mistaken, if you look up Vigilant Christian Bethel, he's actually exposed these people before. Actually, the Vigilant Christian did a video on the Kundalini spirit at the International House of Prayer, which is owned by Mike Bickle, who is real good friends with Bill Johnson, who owns the Bethel Church with Jesus culture, and they have the same Kundalini crap going down there as well. Take a look.
Is it okay if I lay hands on you while I talk to you? I saw a wave of worship. I saw a wave of worship hitting you. Yeah. I saw that there was no separation from worship in the church to the streets. Wow! I just saw it.
And Jesus Culture is the band from Bethel Church. And they joined John Piper at the Passion Conference. Jesus Culture is extremely heretic. Their music is very hypnotic. And also here we have John Piper invites Rick Warren to speak at the Desiring God Conference. Rick Warren. I don't need to explain Rick Warren. I'm pretty sure Mario's exposed him as well. So I'll have some links down below that you can read more into this, because I know this is a lot of information to take in. But this is the problem with Mario. The fact that he sends you to someone like this shows me that he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. So guys, you need to take a good look at the information I put forth here. Look into Calvinism, the New Apostolic Reformation, the Counter Reformation, if you've never read that before, the Jesuit Order, Ecumenism, Jesus Culture, and a little bit more into John Piper, because all of this stuff is very heretical, and the more you look, you realize that Mario's leading you astray. So folks, thank you very much for listening. This has been Avidan, and may God's peace, truth, grace, and love be with you all if you seek Him in faith alone, in Jesus Christ alone. Take care.